going live on Instagram. I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and I am just, how are you? I'm just getting everything ready so that we can have a really, really good time here. How are you? Hey, Bola. Oh, yeah, 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 Bola. How are you? And MTL, Neuro Connect. How are you? And my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram people, how are you guys? Listen, this is just a time for us to really be able to talk about these books that we want to write. So I'm on a couple of different channels. I'm looking both ways. So guys, please don't think I'm being rude, but I'm looking a couple of ways just because I'm addressing so many people. Thank you guys that are on Facebook. Hey, how are you? Hey, Lakeisha. Hey, April. Hey, Patty. Hey, Wise. I just want to address everyone that I can address while I'm talking about this. So today I'm going to be talking about the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale that I'm having. This is the ebook. Hey, Emore81. What I'm doing is I'm going to help a group of people to write their ebook so they can become authors for 2024. That means 2024. Within the first quarter of 2024, you will be a published author. That's right. I am making sure, and I want to make sure you guys can leave comments. Let me see, make sure I can see the comments. Oh, awesome. Um, Okay, good. I want to make sure you guys can leave comments because there's so many of you that want to know how to write a book. And I think an ebook is the best way to introduce you to the world of publishing. It is really one of those things where once you are a published author, this opens the door for you to be a keynote speaker. This opens the door for you to be asked to come and speak at different corporate events as well as schools and different places. And based on, based on what your book is about, you'll be asked to be a part of different events. And I know because even as a writing coach, as a filmmaker, as a producer, I've been asked to speak at different events. So I just want to make sure that you understand that having a book is your new calling card. Hey, Jahan. This is your new calling card. That means that when someone hands you a business card, you can hand them a book. And I always say, have at least, let's say, have 5 to 10 books always on you. I know that sounds strange, but once you become an author, always have a book or a link to your ebook because you never know what doors that can open for you. How do I sound? Just want to make sure I do some housekeeping. How do I sound? Hey, Dawn Barbara 10021. Okay, awesome, awesome. How are you? It's really important now with 2021 right around the corner. It's really important for everyone to understand what is their good backdoor item. Hey, Stephanie, how are you, Stephanie? Um, it's good to have that. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, if this is the first time you are hearing me speak live, please drop a note in the chat. Just say, hey, happy holidays to you too. Drop a note in the chat, first time and where you are coming from. If this is your first time, please let me know where you are. I'm in New York, and a lot of my fans are, believe it or not, in LA, as well as in, let's see, where else. Oh my goodness, when I look at the analytics, I'm like, where are these places? I have a lot of people who do follow for the writing tips because they want to write a book. So I definitely want to know where you are coming in from. San Antonio. Hey, Middles, coming in from San Antonio. All right. And Jahan, let me know, where are you based out of, because I don't think I've ever asked you where you are. All right. So sorry guys, I take my leg. Let's talk about how to start a book project. The first thing you want to do is talk about what you want to write. What are you writing? Are you writing a memoir, autobiographical piece? Are you writing sci-fi? Are you writing mystery? Are you writing a self-help book? Is the self-help book in the financial space? Is the self-help book in the medical space? Is it self-help in the sense of, self-esteem? Hey, how are you, Quest Anderson? And how are you, Nina May? Hey, Oh, hey, beautiful Nana. Nana, it's so good to see you, Nana. How are you? Guys, please let me know where you're coming in from. Okay, someone came in from Spring Valley, New York. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, so when you start off writing a book, you want to think about what kind of book. That's the first thing. And you guys to take some notes because this is really a lot of times people don't give you the secret sauce to really being able to jump into writing a book. So find out, who are you writing for? What kind of book are you writing? Is the book about you? Is the book about an experience? Is this something that is going to help a group of people that have never encountered anything having to do with you? Um, okay, awesome. Screenplay, yes, screenplay. I have, yes. Let's leave it right there. Yes, I have 7 films under my belt. I have over 200 on and off Broadway live productions under my belt. So definitely, I could talk to you about turning your book into a screenplay. I can talk about taking your idea and turning it into a film script. Yes. So definitely hit me up in the DM, drop me a message so I can kind of either point you in a direction or if you want to work with me. So definitely let me know. But you always want to make sure that you know who you're talking to. You want to make sure you know who this book is for. And if you start off with an ebook, it's so much easier to turn that just into a physical book. But the ebook gives you an opportunity, like if you don't have the budget, if you don't have the budget for making it a screenplay and into a movie right away, the ebook will get your feet wet. It'll show you who your audience is. It'll help you to decide what direction to go in once you've made some money. So I said I was gonna one of the books that is still one of the top selling books that we have is Refuse to Live Talented and Broke. You see, mine has all kinds of. I worked on this book almost 10 years ago, but this book, I'm telling you, if you're a talented person, you must get this book. I'll drop it in the chat, but it is Refuse to Live Talented and Broke. If you do not have that book as a creative person, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is another book that I worked on. This is called Leadership Turnaround. This is a book this is a bank that was purchased that had almost gone bankrupt for 8 years. And in 3 years, this gentleman here, he turned it around. So I think it's now the 3rd or the 8th largest bank in Africa. The Power Declaration. This is another book that was worked on. Bishop Bernard Jordan. Actually, we worked on about 23 books with him. This is At What Point Did I Let My Husband Die? This is author Barbara Johnson. She wrote this book, and it was my top seller for July. I coached her. And then this one just came out. Vanessa Beasley, I Am Ugly. Vanessa Beasley, she wrote this book. And usually it takes, if you are savvy and you know how to reach out to your audience, it might take about a month to move about 100 books. She's already sold out of 120 in 3 weeks. 120, and that's a big deal when you're first coming out, because if you're self-publishing, you want to make sure, hey, franchise basketball, you want to make sure that you have an audience that's interested. She just did a podcast with a company that's based in the Bronx, but they were so super excited about her book and the title. They were like, no, we need to bring her on. And in this book, Tax Deed. So when I coach, there's no, like, I'm not locked into any genre. It's not like I'm like, okay, no, I have to deal with this type of book or that type of book. No, if you come to me and you have a passion about your book and you're interested in really bringing the book and the words, the texture of it to life, I definitely like to work with people like that. If you are just getting your feet wet and you're not sure, then a good way to go about it is to do a DIY. If you go to the website, I'm going to actually post the website inside of the chat. But if you go to the website, there's some DIY. So you don't have to, spend a lot of money, but you're getting your feet wet with it. And I have, oh shoot, I didn't bring her book over here, but I have someone who, she just took all my courses. She just took all the courses and now she has a book. She's number 6 on Amazon. And it's a twist on mourning. So she talks to people who are grieving Patty Frudenberg, she's one of our most amazing people that we've ever met, and we have been dealing with the loss of so many people. Hey, Jay, Wise, I may want you to come live with me, so I just there's no way for you to send me a message except for in here. I may want you to come come on the live with me. I am on Facebook. I'm on YouTube on 2 channels. I'm on 2 Facebook channels and 2 yeah, okay, cool. So, and then this is Dr. Latanya Stevens. She did a book. This is her life in poetry. So we did this book with her, and then I have the kids books. So we have I'm not sure Middles if you there, yeah, right. This is Middles's book, Don Neon. I know on it's kind of hard to see it if you're on Facebook, but it's Don Neon. So her link, Middles, if you can drop your link in it, that'll be good. So she actually did 5 books with me, 5 books, and they're all amazing stories. This one is one of my international authors. This is Shailene Sutherland, Feeling My Best. So we did this book, and then also Shaltrice Heron, she did. This is a book teaching kids about money. So she did that book. So we got quite a few. My desk is filled with books that we've worked on, but just wanted to show you a few of them. And then Jamie Lane Wise, who is live on Instagram. Awesome. Thank you, Middles. His book is coming out. It's called Where. So Wise, if you can drop your link in there. But I really want to talk to the people who are thinking that they can't do a book. Like they're thinking that it might be too difficult for them. Actually, it's not that it's difficult. It's just having a plan. You can do anything with a plan. Anything. You can do anything with a plan. And if you're not sure, I'm going to drop this link here. Refuse to Live Talented and Broke. If you do not know what to focus on as a talented person, get this book. Okay, get this book. This was written by my husband. It's how can I put this? It's one of those things that'll keep you focused. If you're not focused, it will keep you focused. It will get you focused. And guys, please share. Thank you, Wise. Please share the link because there are a lot of people, they hit me up in the DMs and they're like, oh, I want to write a book. I want to write a book. But then when I tell them what the investment is, remember, the investment is not in me. The investment is in you. There's no one that can pay you for your expertise, but they can pay you for your time. And so when they walk away, they have something tangible. When you're done, you have something tangible that you can use to make money. I know people that have become millionaires. The first billionaire is J.K. Rowling. She's the first author to become a billionaire from her stories. And all she did was to tap into her market, which was the school, which was the age group that she was trying to tap into. There's a young lady, and it was about, I want to say less than a year ago, she wrote 4 ebooks. She wrote 4 ebooks and she sold them for $37 each. In 6 months, she was a millionaire. Why? She tapped into her audience. She tapped into her demographic. So I just want to let you know, an ebook, you can make good money on an ebook, but you have to be focused. If you can't focus, but you want to write a book, maybe you might want to take a focus boot camp with us, how to really be able to focus on the things that are important for your life, the things that are going to make you money, the things that are going to move the needle forward for you. So if that's the case, make sure this lighting is right. Kind of looking kind of a little darker than normal, but just want to make sure that it's right for you. So again, if you are a creative person, then you want to make sure that you are able to, hey, Dr. J Speaks, to get the book Refuse to Live Talented and Broke if you cannot focus and if you need to know what to do as a creative person. I'm doing this Black Friday sale. Hey, Wise, what's up, man? That's happening. The people on YouTube can't see you. They can't see you, but that's okay. That's okay. They just gonna have to check it out live. But I was just saying that there's some people who they want to write a book, but they do not feel like they can. They don't feel like they can do it because of maybe finances. They might think that they can't do it because they don't know what to write about, but they really want to do it. Talk a little bit about your experience, and then I'm going to have to kind of interpret for the Instagram people that don't have access to seeing you live. But I'm going to send you an invite to come on. I'll send you an invite to come on YouTube and Facebook as well. So I'll do that. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Mm. Mm-hmm. Wow. No, that is so good. That is so good, and that's why I'm here right now. The link, I actually, my husband just jumped on, so I'm kind of happy that he's here because I just said, for people, I said for people who do not know how to either focus or do not know where to start if they're extremely gifted. I dropped the link in here. Get the book, Refuse to Live Talented and Broke. Just get it and start somewhere, because you can change your life with a book. It's just a matter of how much can you focus. So for you, Wise, we're so like uber proud of you, because you did it. You put the work in, and now we're like about to go through everything. That, after you and I go through everything and vet everything, then we're going to go into the editing mode. But they told you that you couldn't do this. They said that you couldn't accomplish this, and now look at that. You have a line of t-shirts and hoodies. You're pre-selling the book. Exactly. And so that's the power of the pen. That's the power of the pen. I said it earlier. It's difficult for people who are extremely talented to stay focused because there's so much going on. But if you know how to stay focused, hey Eric, if you know how to stay focused and you know how to um, just get everything out of you that needs to be in this story, you can change your life. You really can change your life. You really can. So I know that the sales are going to come in because you go live at 5. You go live at 5. You are ready. You're doing it. So I'll send you. Let me see. I'll send you the invite for. I'll send you the invite for Facebook. Yeah, for the StreamYard. I'll send that to you. Let me email that to you so that you can have that. But it's important for people to know. And then let me see, babe, are you gonna jump on? Let's see if my husband would jump on, because I just was talking about Refuse to Live Talented and Broke, and maybe I can get him to say a few words. Babe, if you want to jump on, please send a request so I could bring you on. And I'm sending this. Let me see. I'm sending this to him too. Okay, so I'm gonna send this. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to a few of you guys just to see if you're available, because the thing is, a lot of people, we want to get away from just talking about what we want to do and actually doing it. We want to get away from just wishing and hoping, and doing it, getting the job done. So Miros, I just sent you an invitation. I sent Wise an invitation. We can make this a conversation, but this I am having. Welcome. Let's take a walk podcast. I am doing a Black Friday. This is the ebook package. I am going to do something on Cyber Monday for the physical book, but this is just the ebook package. I have some spots that are available. everything is laid out. If you click the link, I'm going to put the link in. Matter of fact, tell me if you could still see me. I'm getting ready to put the link in right now. Let me put that in. But the bottom line is it's possible, but you have to make yourself available. You understand? It is possible, but you have to make yourself available. You have to say, I want to do this. There's so many things that we want to do this coming year, 2024. There's so many things we want to do, but they're only going to happen if we actually make ourselves available to, to put ourselves in that position to do it. So let me see if I could pin this. I'm going to pin this. All right. Can you see the link, Miros? Let me know if you can see the link. I put the link there for everybody. But Wise, again, Delano is so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You got the support of the whole team. You got the whole THOC family support in this. And the bottom line is you're going to do well. Like, we're now really focusing on making sure that the people who are supposed to have a book have a book. And the people who are supposed to be in the hey Vanny Woods, hey Sebi Tay One, if they are supposed to do it, that they have and what they need to have and they're equipped, and is very, very important. So I'm ready to rock and roll. So if you want to jump on that, I'm gonna see if I can get Delano. Let me see if I can get him. He's busy. Yeah, the email. I emailed that to you already. Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'll see you on the other side. Awesome. So, guys, that was Jay Mullane Wise. He just jumped on this live. And the bottom line is, we are focused on helping you. We're focused on helping you, but it's all about you being able to invest in yourself. And you say, hey, Monique, I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you have this Black Friday package going. I can't afford this. I can't afford, even though it's 65, almost 70% off, I can't afford it. I say, let's have a conversation, because I can show you how to start making money from a book you haven't even written. There's a formula I can show you. There's a way to do that. And if that's what you want to do, then let's do it. Let's rock and roll. And the reason why I'm saying this is because money is not an excuse to not do what you've been called to do. Not having money is not an excuse. It really isn't. It's just a way to give yourself kind of like that, what they call, it's almost as if you've been called to do something, but you're not doing it because you're telling yourself that you can't afford to do it. And I'm removing that doubt. I'm removing that. Middles, if you can jump on Middles, I would love for you to jump on. I sent you a link if you want to come on Facebook and a YouTube Live. I sent the link there. And all my Instagram followers, I appreciate you guys sharing this, because there's going to come a time where we're going to call all of our authors, all of them, and we're going to have an opportunity for you to speak live and share your book with the people who you've written it for. So we'll have a live audience of people who you'll be able to talk about your book, talk about who you are, and then sell live. And that is going to be a game changer for so many people, because there's a lot of people that have written books, and those books are sitting in their garage. Those books are just sitting dormant. They're not doing anything with it. And you don't want to be that person. You don't want to put the effort in, make the investment, and then you have nothing. You have, nothing there. So let's do this, guys. It's so funny. As soon as you start talking, boy, your throat gets dry, but it's all good. But guys, again, so let's talk about some of the things that'll help you as a writer. Name your book. Even if you call it a working title, name your book. And the reason why I say that is because it'll give you inspiration on, hey, Nikki Smith, it'll give you inspiration on how to go forward. Give yourself a title, and let's talk about how to outline this book. So you've given your book a title, you've decided on a genre, whether it's sci-fi, autobiographical, a memoir, you decide on the title, and let's start breaking down the chapters. And the chapters may come to you right away. Some of them may straggle along, but just give yourself working titles, working title chapter names. And the reason why I say that is because it still motivates you to stay on track, right? Hey, Lady Miz. So once let's say you can write a 7-chapter book, You can write a 10 chapter book, you can write a 15 chapter book. It really depends on the content and who you're speaking to and who your audience is. So you want to make sure that you kind of start to encourage yourself by doing that. The other thing is, once you've broken down what the chapter is, what the genre is, what the title is, what the chapter titles are, what's going to help you is you being able to now start to pick apart the words that are going to be the most salient to you. What I'm saying is that, let's say there's 10 words that you have to have in that first chapter that kind of help you to understand what that chapter is about. So if you say the chapter is about, let's say, I don't know, let's say it's a cookbook, and the cookbook has the recipes that you want in it. If the cookbook has the recipes that you want in it, there's certain words that have to be within that, right, in that chapter. So let's say mac and cheese, original mac and cheese, baked chicken, french fries. Those are words because those are part of the recipes that you want to have in it. So you really have to think about what words are the most important that have to be in this first chapter. And if you want to know what the breakdown of each chapter is, I do have a course. If you click that link, I do have a course that breaks down every purpose for every chapter. What's the purpose of chapter 1? What's the purpose of chapter 2? What's the purpose of chapter 3 going into 4? I break that down in How to Write a Book After a Pandemic and Market It. So that course, that's also on sale. I've got about 7 or 8 courses on sale on the website for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So if you're going to grab it because they're going to go back to the regular price. And especially with the holiday coming, if it's something that you can do the DIY, I got 3 models. DIY, do it yourself. Then I have DWU, done with you. DWU, done with you. And then I have done for you. So DF done for you. Those are kind of strange to kind of say, but so do it yourself, done with you, or done for you. So I have all of those options for you. So if you want to try out a writing course by yourself, click the link and see what's on sale. I have quite a few things that are on sale there. So hey, Wise, now you're on YouTube. So YouTube land, say hey to Wise.
Hey, are you able to hear me?
Oh yeah, turn your volume up a little bit. You sound like you're trying to be
Turn
Barry
my
White, man.
volume up a little bit. Okay.
Is it all the way up?
It's going to
All right,
be
so let me make sure my volume's all the way up.
testing
Okay.
one, two, three. Testing
Okay,
one, two,
sounds
three.
good.
Much better?
Sounds good. Yeah, that's much better. And Middles is here. Hey, Queen Middles, how are you?
Hi, Queen. Hi, Wise. Good evening.
Hey,
Good
Rose.
Black Friday.
evening. Yes, it's Black Friday. And so I just shared with everyone your book, Don Neon. Yes, and you just dropped the link in there. So Don Neon. So Miros, I want to just tell. I'm going to jump back into the next part of how to write a book. But Miros, when she came to me and she said she wanted to write a book, she had all these amazing ideas. But she's another person who probably didn't think that she'd ever write a book. Now she is a 5-time author, and so that's a big deal because when someone tells you you can't do something because they haven't done it, you might really believe them and you might become disappointed, not realizing they were telling you what their limits were. They were really showing and expounding on what their limits are, as opposed to saying, hey, why not try it? It's better to be optimistic when you're talking to someone because you don't know what their dream is, and you could be a dream killer and you don't want to be a dream killer, but you can. You might become a dream killer by telling someone your limits as opposed to saying, hey, you know what, if that's what you want to do, I'm encouraging you, I'm pushing you towards doing that, let's do it. So Middles, talk about working with me. That's Wise just said a few things, talk about working with me because you've done every boot camp in the past 3 years with me.
Well,
You've done every boot camp.
well, it's about 3 years. So the first time that I approached you, I learned that you were an author, a writer, and I had a dream of me writing. I just didn't have the right resources or the right um, guidance to complete one. So I learned your background and I reached out, and that was key. It was reaching out. And from there, I learned you taught. you had courses, and it was a journey. It didn't happen all at once, but the mentorship, the one-on-one coaching has really helped me along this journey. So
Mm.
I encourage
Okay.
everybody to reach out to Monique.
What was the toughest part? Because we had some emotional moments. What was the toughest part in and there's a story specifically that I'm talking about. What was the toughest part about really working through the story? I know which one it was that I thought was the toughest one for you.
I think the toughest one in the beginning that I could remember is um, having the issue with that dyslexia, and so it was it was hard for me to just let you know. And once I opened up and let you know my issue or what I was going through, I just started writing. Um,
Hmm.
Prayed
Hmm.
about it. You prayed over me, of course. Before you do any course, pray over us. So that helped.
Yes, yes, this is true. This is true. And there's one story in particular that you were working on that I felt like, because it was so close to home, even though all the stories are about adventures and the things that you do with kids, but one story was so close to home because it was a family member. Talk about that book.
Oh well, a grandpa book. I'm so excited for that book. That's my grandpa. He was, oh my goodness, his legacy. I just wanted to write about his legacy, even though many people don't think of being a rooster trainer. Training roosters it's a career. It's a career, and to bring it to life for children, it's amazing. So I can't
Yeah.
wait to show the world about that book.
It was so much fun, but I know it was difficult because, like you said, depending on where you come from, there are people who may not see the relevance or see how important it is to tell that story because of the part that that profession, how it was a part of, the fiber of who your grandfather is. And then coming up with the characters and the way they were dressed and just it was fun, but I knew it was emotional. I knew it was like, I
Mm.
can do this. It was like, I can do this. And, people don't realize when you write a book for kids, you have a huge impact for years over those kids because you're helping to shape how they think, what they do, how they dress, how they talk, how they carry themselves, what they allow, which could be bullying or could be being the bully, or what they don't allow. Like, no, you know, this happened, but I'm going to say no to this. So it was really important for you to be able to tell that story. So I'm really happy that you just said, listen, this is important, so I have to do it. So thank you so much for that. And you're expanding on your grandfather's legacy. You're expanding on it, and that is so important. But again, this is the first book out of 5 books, Don Neon, that Miros has actually had the opportunity to write with me as her writing coach. So I'm so happy. Listen,
Thank
that's for you.
you much. I'm excited.
Very excited. And you were just in Arizona with me. You were
I was.
just, yeah. So talk about that experience because that was new for both of us. And then we ended up in a donut shop in like in the middle of the,
Yes, we ended up celebrating a big win. We
yeah.
deserve a donut for sure. But that experience was so powerful. It was a powerful event that you spoke, that you were one of the speakers, key speakers, and just having, even if it was 2 minutes, just to speak on my book was a lifetime opportunity. You don't. I That was the first time I spoke in public about the book, so it was very special to me, and I have to thank you always for it.
Well, listen, thank you for believing in yourself because that's not the first time that you were asked to speak. Remember, you also applied to speak at Latina Fest, and
That's
you,
true.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got
this year
to.
flew by.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, you got to speak there, and you didn't even think that that was going to happen because of the time frame. And look what happened. You and I
Exactly.
had been talking about merchandise for the book, and who were you next to at Latina Fest that you kind of just jumped in at the last minute? What happened there?
So there was right out. We were. I was next to the Barbie, Mattel. Mattel, I think, is a toy company. So our booth was right next to the Mattel company. So it just is inspiration to move forward, to have products for toys. And I wanted to share some news that I actually doing a stuffed animal just as an, a sample. So I'm super excited. It's just a sample. It's a
I
start, right?
love it. It's a start. You got to start somewhere. You went from being concerned about being dyslexic and being concerned about not knowing what the process would look like becoming an author, a children's author at that. And with that process, hey, how are you? I am Roshan and Tora Y Bakery. How are you? Hey. So you went through that process. You didn't shy away. And if you didn't get something the first time, because the first time you did the 48-hour boot camp with me, you wrote your book in 2 days. A lot of people have been laboring over the idea of writing a book and they go through that for years. But in 2 days, you were ready. You were ready to rock. And Madrina was done. That's the first book. Madrina's Magical Adventures was done in 2 days. We got that done. And then we were able to work with the illustrator. And then next thing you know, you had the book ready. You have another one. You have Madrina's Staycation, which really came out of the pandemic. So that you've got all these books, and what you're doing is you're not letting dyslexia or what would try to keep you
Right.
in fear of writing, especially for kids. But instead, what you did was you were like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to invest. I'm going to take the time, put the time aside. And you did that. You
Hmm.
did that. And so I will forever tell that story because you went from not sure to 5 books later. Who does that? Somebody who's focused, somebody who's invested, and somebody who's just like, I got this. And then with Wise, man,
Ooh,
Wise. This is so, so good because I think your book is going to deliver a lot of young men who
Yes.
may have had the same background as you, like may have had like the same experience as you, and didn't have a way to talk about it and didn't have a way to express what that experience did to you and now what it's doing for you. So talk a little bit about that. You don't have to give away the book, but talk a little bit about that. Just the whole
Yeah.
process and what happened, to you during this process.
Yeah. Actually, when I did, can you hear me first? I want to make sure you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you good.
Okay.
I'm good all the way up.
First of all, when I did on Wise is going live at 5 today. One thing I did mention in my podcast was chapter 2. I didn't want to burden you, mom. So I mentioned that part of being young and seeing my family dynamic, and I didn't want to bring that portion of my struggle to my mother. Even though she was there, she was my mother and she was there, I didn't want to bring the internal struggles I dealt with. And that actually, by doing that, caused me to have some problems later on because I didn't know how to communicate or get those things out. So I explained in my podcast dealing some of the struggles going through as being a young person, and I would encourage any young person now to make sure you have the open dialogue with your parents, and parents have the open dialogue with your children. Realize they can come to you with anything. Because the worst thing is to be left to your own devices and you had to come to your own resolve. The reason why we have parents is to help you through that resolve so you can make a better decision. So in the book, it actually explains the struggle I have, like I said, not giving away everything because so many things in details.
Mm.
But it actually explains a struggle of a young male child, and how he saw life at that time. And now, like you said, getting older, you get the wisdom. I had to go back and forgive that younger child. Reason why? Because he didn't understand. But it was a process in that. So, not what you're saying, working with somebody like you, who is a certified trained coach in writing, who know what they're talking about, actually bring out the best. So it unlock memories, not bad memories, but it unlock memories that the things I had to deal with. and the things I had to overcome. And with your guidance, you know, some people had the gift to just go ahead and write. But if you have somebody in your life like you that willing to, like I said, I invest in myself. Actually, this investment is golden because you cannot pay for this type of experience to be able to share a message like that. And like I said, it's going to be for young men, but I also believe it will be for any young person, male or female, who go through struggles and problems with relationships with their parents, relationships with anybody in the school, relationship with their friends, relationships in general, and they will be able to connect with that. So so like I said, I'm very thankful. It only thing it did, it catapulted me to another place in my life where
Yes.
I understand that the power is
Where?
in the pen.
Where? Yes. That's
Where?
going to be such a powerful word for you just going forward. Welcome, Tommy from First Know. Tommy's on Instagram checking us out. And yeah, I mean, you said a mouthful, and the bottom line is that anyone who is able to really get the message behind your story, they're gonna see how they can maneuver through this life and get this message. If it's a young person, I would say as young as I say maybe as young as 10. Let's say 10, because there are 10-year
Yes.
olds that are they're brilliant and they will read whatever their older siblings are reading. That's one thing about young having older siblings. When you're like 4, 5, and 6, you always want to do what your older siblings are doing. And so you're going to have people who were younger reading because maybe an older teen or older sibling is reading it. What I love about Where is your raw honesty about how you felt in situations and things that happen. And I think that I get the privilege as a writing coach, I get the privilege as someone who gets to spend time with you guys to really learn who you are through your stories. So I'm honored that you trust me on this journey. And you started this journey this year, March. You started in March. It's November, and you are done. You know, you took your time, and when you weren't able to show up, you were like, "Listen, what's my assignment? What do I do? Where do I go?" And that's your commitment to you. See, when you keep the commitment that you've made to yourself, you get things done. When you can't keep the commitment that you've made to yourself, you don't get things done. And that's why I'm here. Hey, J Dove Productions, how are you? That's why I'm here. I'm here. Black Friday and Cyber Monday is a big deal for a small business owner. And that's the time when you get a chance to connect with people who may not be able to afford, a package or something like that. But what I'm finding out is that some people are afraid to invest in themselves. There's some people who are afraid. They think they're paying you and you're going to become this magic genie and you're going to produce. No, you have to do the work. I know how to pull it out of you, but you have to do the work. You have to understand the process. So some of the tips that I've been sharing since we've gone live is, who are you writing for? What's the genre? Who are you writing for? Is if it's autobiographical, a lot of people who are ready to write their memoir or the autobiography are drawn to me. But if it's a kid's book, what are you writing? Who are you writing for? That's the first thing. And then afterwards, Wise, drop your link down here too so that I can put it up on the screen. If you don't know those things, I can help you with that, but you still have to have an idea of who you are writing for. You want to make sure that you understand that. Next, outlining your chapters. If it's a chapter book, outlining them and really finding the words that resonate with the title that you've chosen. And don't do cliche titles. I just had this conversation with someone. Don't do cliche titles. Don't speak Christianese. Don't, just assume that people are going to understand or know what you're talking about. Speak plain English, because people speak plain English. Speak plain English. Don't try to impress people with a fancy title, because you're going to lose people. If you are like laser focused on what it is that you're talking about, you're going to part the Red Sea, and all the people who are just in the way will move out of the way, and you're going to talk directly to the heart of the person that you're trying to reach. But if you try to write a book for everyone, you're writing a book for no one. Be clear about your message. Be very clear about your message. Middles was very clear. It's a bilingual book for children who are in a situation where they're in a household where two different languages are being spoken, and the Don Neon, the parrot, is really taking them on an adventure. But they get an opportunity to have the best of both worlds, and that's what I like. They have the best of both worlds, and all of them, because Middles, she's a social worker, and so she works with kids, she's rescuing kids, she's talking to them. And the one thing that almost brought me to tears when she told me why she wanted to do this was because she was meeting children at the age of 5 who had no dreams. They had no dreams at all, and that's the most heartbreaking thing to me. Hey Keish, 1972, when you meet a child that has no dreams, that's heartbreaking. It's like even children who are in an abusive situation usually have a dream. It could be just to get out of their situation, but she was coming across children that had no dreams. That to me is like, man, hard to swallow, hard to, like, wow. And so, but it's true. It's very true. You have kids, and if they don't have a dream, you don't know how to steer them to dream again. And so that's what I love about her mission with Wise. His desire to share his story to help someone, enabling him to go back into a place where he can now see things differently. Hey, Freddie Cashier, he can see things differently. He can see where certain adults made mistakes when it came to kids, where people who should have known better did not do better. But now that he knows better, he can do better. And that's important. So I get to work with the most amazing people, and I get to know them on a deeper level. There's times where we do sessions where I just tell the person, turn your camera off. Turn your camera off, take a moment. Don't try to show up and show out and impress people. Have your moment, feel it. Because if you don't feel your book, no one else will. If you don't have that moment where you're like, man, this really happened to me, nobody else is going to care about it. Why? Because you don't feel it, so they don't feel it. So really think about the type of book that you want to write. Really think about the way it should be structured, and really think about who you are writing the book for. I tell people all the time, hey, TM Providence, thank you for joining us. I tell people all the time, the story is about you, but it doesn't belong to you. The story's about you, but it doesn't belong to you. The story belongs to the people who your impact is going to make a difference in their life. You're definitely going to make a difference. So it's about you. So make it good, but it's not for you. Some people write a book and it's for them. Well, then you don't need to sell it to anybody. If it's for you, nobody else should have to support what you're doing. But if it's to change lives, if it's to have impact, if it's to move people, if it's to teach something, if it's to, make a difference, then it needs to move the people that you say it's for. And if it's not moving you, it's not going to move them. So I just want to thank you guys both for coming on. Any words of advice for someone who's on the fence? I'm passing the mic to Wise. Any advice for people who are on the fence? What do you say to that?
What I would say to that is invest into yourself. Everybody have a message, and there's somebody out there that can in tune with your frequency. That's what I mentioned earlier today as well. We
Right.
have a unique frequency, and there are people who are in this world is connected to your frequency. And whether it would be a shame to be on this planet and not be able to share that thought, that frequency with somebody else to change their life. So if you're on the fence, don't be. Take the opportunity to invest in yourself. Get a writing coach like you. Like you said, you got the Black Friday sale going on. But like anything else, if you're willing to invest in yourself, you will reap a harvest. It's called the principle of sowing and weeping. As you sow, you will weep. And just realize the cost is only what it is just a small cost to the bigger investment of your life and somebody else's life when they be able to see the writing and be able to hear the frequency from your power of your pen. And that's my thought for that.
I like that. The power of your pen. Yeah. No, this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. And I know that there are people who say, I can't afford to invest in myself. There are people who will say that. They'll say, you don't know the bills that I have. You don't know just how much I'm responsible for. So let me say this to you. I know that it was difficult. It was a struggle for me to have to decide if I took a course that I knew I needed to take. Like I had to make the decision if I was going to do that. And what happened was, within 4 weeks, I got back 10 times the amount. It was an 8 week course, but I got back 10 times the amount because I didn't stop. I was encouraging everybody. Oh, you guys could do it. This is great. I was encouraging everybody, but I didn't see the return. I didn't see anything, but I stayed the course. And I think that's what happens. People quit just before they get to that place where they feel like they're winning. They quit. I mean, literally, you can be 2 inches from the thing that you need and they quit. And if you want to stop, hey, Jersey Mike P, if you want to stop starting over, you got to stop quitting. If you don't want to keep starting over, this is my day one again. This is my day one again. I'm going to do this. This is my day one again. But what happens is, just before you get to that place where you actually reap the harvest of the hard work that you've done, they quit. And so you didn't quit. Things changed for you. You didn't quit. Some stuff was happening, some personal stuff. You didn't quit. And look where you are. Now, there's other people who were kind of maybe not completely focused. Other things were happening. But I had to tell someone the other day, she was like really saying to me, like, I don't know what to do. I need money. I need this. And then she was saying all this stuff. And I was like, the money's in your house and it's in your head. It's in your mouth. It's in your hands. Because the story's in your head. If you write, it's in your hand. And if you say it, it's in your mouth.
Come
I said,
on
the very
now.
thing that you need, yeah. I said, the very thing that you need is inside of you. The money that you need is in your house. You are lacking nothing except for the ability to stick with something until it happens. You know, you're quitting on yourself before you actually see what could happen. Happy holiday. So I know it was hard for me. And let me tell you, on that fourth week, when that check hit, I had a five. Some people say, oh, they have a 5 figure month. I had a 5 figure day. I didn't quit. I was encouraging everybody, and I was thinking to myself, man, something better happen soon because I don't want to quit. And like I said, I had an 8 week window to get this course done. And in the middle of week 4, I had just posted, don't quit. We could do this. We got this. Hey, April. I knew April was coming on. I love her so much. I didn't quit. And when that 5 figures hit my account that day, I ran over to my husband like, no. He was like, wow. And sometimes that's the win that gets you over the hump of quitting. I like is like I'm like a bulldog with a bone when it comes to getting stuff done. But I felt it because I was like, man, and I didn't. You can want to quit, but not quit. Like you can want to say, I don't want to do this anymore, but not do it. Like you gotta hold on. And how long, let's see. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah. So wise. It took you about 7 months in between a heavy workload and changes and life things happening, but you did it. And that's just
Yes.
meeting once a week for 7 months, 90 minutes, because it's really an hour class, but I go that extra mile. I put that extra half hour in there for everyone. That's right. April said, I will not quit. I will not quit. But I just think that we can do amazing things when we do not shortchange ourselves by quitting. And we remove all doubt, right? I said, Wise, listen, if you want to pre-sell the book, how many books have you pre-sold already before the book has been released?
Oh wow. One, two, three, four. I believe I got five. I ain't
About
checked today, but I believe I got five.
so
Five since I
five,
started at the.
yeah,
I guess you'll say over last weekend. Started over last weekend. So yeah. Yep.
yeah. So
Five.
5 people who don't have a physical book in their hand paid you full price, correct?
Yes. Full price.
So does that mean that you can pre-sell a book before it's written or before you complete it?
Yes.
Okay, so we've removed that I can't afford it mindset, haven't we?
Yeah, by going ahead and doing it, right? Just going ahead and believe, and like you said, open your mouth and let people know. And one thing you told me, which I said I had to be honest. I have not fully opened my mouth and let everybody know. That was just a few people let know, and it happened like that. So I need to get on the ball and just open and scream to and tell the world, and let it happen.
Listen, the squeaky wheel still gets the oil. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Tell people. Sometimes people are so afraid to open their mouth and talk about the amazing things that are happening in their lives and the life changing opportunities that are before them. They hide behind a persona. They hide behind, for women, they hide behind the lashes. The women, they hide behind the wigs or the makeup. Don't hide. Let people know the real story, because they will support you. They will come out. And then after a while, it'll switch and it won't be support. You'll be giving them what they need. When you give people what they need, they will buy from you. They will buy from you. I remember the first time, almost 4 years ago, the first time I did a Cyber Monday sale as a writing coach. Only one person signed up. Only one person signed up. And you know why? Because all the other people would slip into my DM and they would say, "Oh, I want to do it, but I can't afford it." But they didn't even give themselves an opportunity to have a conversation with me before they said, "I can't afford it." But if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I remember having a conversation with you, Wise, and you were like, "Well, right now I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna let God do what He's gonna do." And now look at you. Not only have you pre-sold books and started pre-selling books, we're at the go through the book to just make sure
Yes,
everything is cohesive. Then we're gonna go into the editing process, and then before you know it, your book will be ready. So we got a
yes,
couple of weeks, but your book is ready. 7 weeks of a commitment, 7 months of a commitment of you just committing to 1 day a week for 90 minutes. And the times you couldn't be there, you would say, "Hey, I did my assignment. I did my word count. I went over everything. What's next?" You were always like, "What's next? What's next? What's
yes,
next?"
yes,
Because
yes.
life be lifing. We never said that growing up, but it's true. Like, life be lifing. But you have to make a decision. Do you just let things happen to you, or do you take control of your life and you say, "No, from this time to this time, I'm gonna write. From this time to this time, I'm gonna do my assignment." People don't know. For 20 years, I worked on everyone else's project except my own. I worked on everybody else's stage play, everybody else's film. I did casting, whatever needed to get done. And then when I said no, I stopped. I said, "No, I have to finish writing something for me." I've been writing since I was 7. So I have to write something for me. I sat down for 9 weeks and I wrote a 114-page stage play that came from a book idea that I had. And those 9 weeks produced 114 pages that were edited down to 84 pages of a stage play that has gotten me 45 nominations and 26 awards. So I was literally just working on everybody's stuff and not focused on what I needed to do. I've sold out the world famous Apollo Theater 5 times. That only came from me sitting down and minding my own business and writing this production. And then I had to cast it. I had to build the set. I had to rent out the theaters and the venues. I had to do the insurance. I had to do everything. But it wasn't until I stopped doing for everyone and focused on what I needed to do that it got done. And so now I look at it this way: you can do a lot of things if you're focused, but you can do a few things excellently if you're laser focused. And so you
Mm.
two represent laser focus. I have all these books here, like literally, and this is just a few. I have a stack of books here of all the people who actually were laser focused and finished their book. And then I have another stack over there of people who sat and they did their books. And now making good money. Meadows knows what it's like to get a call and someone buy 100 books from her. She knows what that's like.
Shout out to my
Vanessa,
pastor if he ever watches it. Thank you, Pastor Berto.
see, you know, 100 books, and we had the conversation. That was another conversation. She was like, Should I order 200 books? Should I get I was like, no, Middle, I think you need to get 200 books. I don't know. I just think so. And I'm so glad she listened because 100 were gone before she um, even before she received the books, 100 were gone. You know, the same thing with Vanessa. Vanessa, she was like, I'm not sure how many books I should order. She ordered a small amount, and those books were not only gone before she even got back to Fort Wayne, but she's already she received her second order of books, and they're gone already. They're gone. And so you got to step out of the boat. Sometimes we don't want to walk on water, but we don't really have a choice. You got to get out of that boat. You got to be able to just say, listen, I'm going to believe in myself. I did the work. The book is ready. I'm going to believe in myself, and now I'm going to do this. So I've already talked about figuring out what genre that you want the book to be in. I've already talked about deciding on your title, even if it's a working title. Break down those chapters. Think about the most important words that need to be in each chapter that represents what that chapter is about. Decide who the audience is. And if you want to know who the audience is, these are the people that you understand where they eat, where they drink, what they watch, where do they shop, what do they wear, what do they like, what they do, what kind of music. That's getting to know your audience. And you know how you do that? You have conversations with people. It's not a secret. Have conversations with people about what they do and what they like. You sell by listening to what people have to say. That's why people have an FAQ on their website, frequently asked questions. If you can answer the frequently asked questions about your book when you're writing it, you will find your audience. You will part the lurkers and naysayers like the Red Sea. The people who just want to see what's happening on your page but could care less about what you're doing. It's okay. You know, people got to see what's going on. But if you are speaking directly to your audience, you'll move everybody else out the way. The people on the sidelines just watching. I call them lurkers, people on the sidelines, and you'll get to speak to the heart of the person who you are passionate about helping with your book, with your story, with your self-help, whatever it is. You'll get to talk to those people. And when you talk to those people, they will respect what you're saying because now with your book, you're the authority on that topic. You're the authority. You know, technically, Middles, you're an authority on children's stories. Even if you've never given yourself that title, you're an authority because you not just in English, not just Spanish, but bilingual. You know, and with Wise, King Wise, I call him King Wise, Queen Middles. You're going to be talking to the heart of young men that have dealt with the things that you're dealing with. And their young women are going to identify with that too, but also people who are at the college level who may be dealing with that with a professor, you know, dealing with what you went through with a parent. Yes. So now you become that authority. So I think the word authority scares people. That's right. Your experience makes you an expert. That's right. Expert, TM Providence. This is so true. I think for me, I didn't know I could sell out the Apollo Theater, but that was irrelevant. I was going to do it anyway. Nobody said, hey, I've done it. Come, I'll show you. I'll teach you. No, I tell people when I talk about that story, a trip to the bathroom in Harlem enabled me to sell out the Apollo Theater 5 times. They're like, what the heck does that mean? Basically what happened, I was promoting one of my shows and I was walking. I'm like a road warrior. I was walking up and down 125th Street talking to people about my play. I do stuff like that. I will get out into the field and do the real work. And so I was talking and I had to go to the restroom. So I was like, the Apollo Theater's there. They do tours. And because they do tours, I'm going to go in and see if I could use the restroom. And they said yes. And then I got to meet Mr. Billy Mitchell, who was called Mr. Apollo. When he was a teenager, he'd go there and he was like an intern or he was like a volunteer. He got to pick up the Supremes from the airport. He got to pick up the Temptations, James Brown, the Jackson 5. He just volunteered and got an opportunity to have access to those celebrities. And so he saw the name of my shirt because just like you, Wise, I had a shirt on that said the name of my production. He was like, what does that mean? And I told him, and he was like, oh, why don't you bring that here? And that's where that, just a trip to the bathroom allowed me to sell out the world famous Apollo Theater 5 times. And the fourth time I sold it out, because I sold it out 4 times in the same year, and then I sold it out again. It was so funny because the Apollo, the staff said to me, they were like, listen, you're using this theater and you got to use the biggest space possible. Like the biggest space possible is 1,521 seats. And they were like, you have to use the biggest space possible. You cannot use our little theaters. Hey, WJ, gospel. And so that's what happened. And every time I came in, the staff was so great. It was a union house. So I had to go by union rules, but I took a story that I created. It wasn't about me, because some people were like, was that your light? No, I took the story that I created from the top of my head and put it into the format of a play, and I produced it. And so your stories can go anywhere. It just depends on what you're doing with your story and how. So break that story down, decide who it's for, and really, embody that story. Like, what is it about? And what is it that's drawing you to your own story? Because if your story doesn't entertain you, it doesn't educate you, it doesn't teach you anything, it doesn't move you, it's not going to do that for anybody else. What is that story about? What is that story about? So my thing is always, listen, if I write something and then I read it back and I'm not moved by it, then I start over. And stories are not commentary. This is not like a tennis match where you're just telling people what happened. It's not commentary. Your story is really, it has to have texture. It has to have meaning. It has to move something. It has to have a means to an end. It has to be an adventure or a journey or something. It can't just be like literally watching paint dry on the wall. It cannot be boring. And if it's boring, then maybe that's not the story you should tell, right? Maybe the story that you should tell should be one that actually makes you feel good about telling that story. So another tip I'll give, if you're doing a self-help book, because a lot of people want to do a self-help book or a prayer journal. If you're doing something like that, always do your research. Anytime you're doing something that's going to help people, always do your research, always have case studies. And the reason why I say do your research and have case studies is because now you're showing your proof that it helps someone, or you're showing that someone went through this thing, and for them, they are giving you the results of what happened. They're giving the results of what happened. So it's important for you to have those case studies. It's important for you to say, listen, this happened and this was the result. And either don't do this because it didn't work, or do this because it did work. Always have case studies if it's a self-help book. That is really, really important. So guys, this, you've been hanging out with me. I'm going to just share again, my Black Friday special is right on the website. It is actually an ebook special. Guys, listen, wives and middles, don't get mad at me because it's way below what you guys paid, way below but it's Black Friday, so you're gonna get mad at me. But I'm doing this special because there are people who really do not believe that this is possible. So I'm going live because it is possible. It's possible for you to do this. If you don't know if you can focus, we have a focus boot camp. I can share that information. If you're interested in the focus boot camp, that's a boot camp that my husband does. And we will be doing it in other countries where we're literally going to be taking people away to a nice excursion and do it. Or if you want to figure out what you're supposed to be doing as a creative person, my book is really jacked up. It's really jacked up, but it's Refuse to Live Talented and Broke. So Refuse to Live Talented and Broke. And it's so crazy because Pastor Jamal Bryant, you guys saw, he had these huge LED walls, a good 20 feet wide, and he just put this book up on the screen and said, this is the best book he has read for talented people. Literally, he was like, this is the best book. So the website is talentedandbroke.com. So if you do not have that book, talentedandbroke.com, it has been endorsed by Les Brown. It has been endorsed by Dr. George C. Frazier. It has been endorsed by Dr. Willie Jolly. It's been endorsed by Pastor Jamal Bryant. It's been endorsed by some heavy hitters in the industry. And If you're a creative person and you do not have direction, that is the book to get. If you want to write a book but you don't have focus, we do have a focus boot camp, and it's important because we're walking into the age of yes. Thank you so much, April. She said, Refuse to Live Talented and Broke is a great book, so encouraging and inspiring. And the thing about it is that there are people who have bought in April, I think you're one of them, have bought 3, 4, and 5 copies because you know that the book is for talented people. And talent doesn't have to do with music or art or, you can have a talent for cyberspace, like cybersecurity. You can be talented in being able to help people to figure out how to protect themselves online. You can have a talent to fix something. So don't think of the arts when we say talented, because it's not necessarily the arts, but it's really taking a deep dive into how to recognize where your talent lies, where's your strongest gift. Because people say gift and they say talent, but your gift is it's like having a flower. So let's think of it like a tree. The root of the tree is the gift, but the branches are the talent. So your one gift branches out into the different talents that you develop. Because people say, "Oh, I have lots of gifts." No, you may have one or two, but the talent that you develop out of that is really the key. So Refuse to Live Talented and Broke. So talentedandbroke.com. I'm going to type that inside of the chat right now and put that up. But talentedandbroke.com. Some people are extremely talented and they don't know where to start, so they don't start at all. They don't do anything. And you guys, again, I'm so proud of you because you decided, you made that decision that you were going to focus on what it is that you want to do and then do it. And Wise, did you drop your link in the Facebook chat?
I tried to. It wouldn't allow me to do that, so I did it in the private chat instead.
Okay, so let me see if I can. See if I
can try
it.
Again, but it failed the first time when I did it.
All right, so let me see if I can do it.
Yeah, it still failed.
It might let me. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, you check the private chat. It's there.
Yes, I have it now. Let me see if it'll. Okay, so let's get rid of that. There's like an end piece on there. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me see. Okay, can you see it? You see that? All right, let me see if I can.
Yep, in both places. Yep.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so really I can't wait to work with the people who are going to actually take this offer. Last year, Black Friday, I had a good group of people that were able to finish within a certain amount of time. Some people, it's an 8-week course, but some people were able to finish in 6 weeks, and there were a few people that were able to finish in 9 weeks. If you need an extra week, that's not a problem. But it's really important for us to invest in ourselves. I had to do it, and man, I was like, man, this is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But in 4 weeks, I got 11 times the amount that I invested, and so that's why I had to just say, hey, you got to invest. People who invest, or people who pay attention. People who pay attention. There are people who they're looking for things that are $20 and $30 to kind of get their feet wet. That's okay. If you're not going to finish it, then that's not okay. But it's really important for you to be able to just like say, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for myself. So guys, like, yeah, Black Friday, I'm going to jump back on Instagram if you guys want to come over. I think, can you have up to 3 people on Instagram? Is it like that one?
Yes, you can have up to 3 people on Instagram.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if y'all free, come on over. If you're free, come on over. I'm going to jump over on Instagram because it's hard to kind of do like this. It's hard. It's like I feel like I'm doing Walk Like an Egyptian, the song. I feel like I'm doing that. But guys, this has been good. So again, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Monique Lisa. I'm a writer, director, and producer of stage, film, and books. I am a 45-time nominated playwright, as well as a 26-time awarded writer that has sold out the Apollo Theater 5 times. I have also done over 200 on and off Broadway productions. And in 2020, I decided to really take a deep dive into helping people to write their stories. I've gone to a lot of plays, I've gone to a lot of workshops, I've read a lot of books, and I found that a lot of people don't understand that you have to know who you're writing for in order for the story to make sense to the person that you're trying to target. J.K. Rowling did a great job with her book because she understood who her audience was. She was able to work with the school system. She's already sold 8.3 in 2005. She sold 8.3 million books in a 24-hour period. That's over 359,000 books an hour for 24 hours. Is it possible for you to write something that resonates with your audience? Yes, it is. Is it possible for you to change your bank account with your book? Yes, it is. It's possible if you're proactive. Can you write a book? Well, can you sell a book before it's written? It is possible. I have 2 people right here that'll let you know they were selling books. They were selling books before they were even done. Middle was pre-selling a book before it was even done. She did a triple pack. She did a single book. We know what it's like to, want to be able to do that, and it is possible. I pre-sold a book, 200 copies of a book, and it wasn't even written yet. I pre-sold 200 copies of a book, and it wasn't written. I had a meeting with a school principal, told her about the concept of the book, and she said we would like to pre-order 200 copies. So if you're using the excuse that you don't have the money, knowing that you're supposed to be writing a book, you are without excuse. You can sell a book and get the support of your community so that that money helps you to order your books, get it, your illustrator, the whole thing. I have a book. It's not next to me, but I have a book that I'm working on with a writer, and it's the shape of the book is different. It's a long book, but it's a classic tabletop book that she's doing, and she's going to be pre-selling that book before she even has her copies. Why? Because she's done the work. So it is possible. So guys, I will be signing off of Facebook. I'm on 3 pages on Facebook, and I'm on YouTube, and I'll be jumping back onto Instagram. And if Wise and Middles are available, they can join me. If anybody knows where Lakeisha is, you guys reach out to the folks. Yo, come on and let's talk about it, because I've coached over 3,000 people in the past 3.5 going on 4 years. And just from my heart, I just want to say thank you to all the people who believed in themselves first, not believed in me, but believed in themselves first, that they knew they could write a book. If you cannot, I thought I pinned the link. April. April, if you can grab the link off of Facebook and just pin it here, that'll be perfect, because it'll be kind of difficult for me to do it. April was looking for the link. But it is possible to write a book. It is possible to pre-sell it before you write the first word. It is possible to find your audience and have them go on the journey with you. It is possible for you to reach out to libraries and other places that will feature your book and have you come in and will purchase your book. These things are possible. You just have to understand. And it's possible to figure out who you're talking to all the time. When I say this, who am I talking to? This is the audience I'm talking to. When I say that, this is the audience I'm talking to. So it's easy to find that out when you know who your audience is. So guys, I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to stay on Instagram, but I'm going to sign off from Facebook. But please have your links ready so that I can put them up there and pin them to the top. So guys, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, Miros. Thank you so much, Wise. I'm going to... well, closing remarks. You might as well do your closing remarks, because I'm gonna jump back on Instagram. Closing remarks, Miros, and then Wise.
Closing remarks. It's expensive. Success is expensive, but it's worth it. So, coach, having the right environment, the right community, it could happen.
Say that again.
Success is expensive. It really is, but you know what? It's worth it.
You know what? But free comes at a high cost, because YouTube University can only take you but so far. It'll give you the what, the where, and the why, but it will not give you the how. And that's the reason why people have to kind of get into these masterminds, get into these experiences where they are actually getting the how. You can go to YouTube University all you want, but you'll never get the how, because the how is what they sell. So that right there is really an important thing. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go live again, but I am going to do, I'll probably do that for tomorrow, but I am going to extend to the viewers. I'm going to give them a free outline, something that I said, I'm going to give it free. If they are interested, I'm going to give it to them free, how to outline your book. Because if you can outline your book, you are taking the first steps towards authorship. So King Wise, I'm passing the mic to you.
Hey, Miro said it perfectly earlier. Look at this. It's they always say stock. You do stock. Is doing the long game. Look at it as you write your book. It's the long game. What you're doing is the small. I call it the small investment into yourself right now. It will have generational impact. So you cannot put a price on generational impact.
I
If
like
you
that.
if you really have a story that you really want to share, take the time now to invest in yourself so you can have generational impact, because it's all about the long game. It's not about the short game. It's all about the long game.
It's about the
And I'm done.
long game, man. Ooh, that's good. That's some good stuff right there. Well, I'm gonna leave. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm gonna leave this on. I'm put you guys in the green room. And then you guys can switch over, but I'm gonna leave this on. Thank you, Middles. Thank you, Wise. Leave you guys here. I'm gonna actually take myself out and switch right over to Instagram.